Welcome to Think Aloud English. I'm Roxy.
And I'm Roshi. It's great to have you with us today as we get into some really essential language for the kitchen.
Absolutely. So before we start explaining everything, we want you to watch a short English video with us.
It's packed with useful expressions.
Yeah, and don't worry if you don't catch everything the first time. We'll come right back after and break it all down together. Ready?
Peel off. She is peeling off the potato skin with a peeler. Trim off. She is trimming off the root end of the carrot. Slice up. The chef is carefully slicing up the ham. Cut up. She is cutting up the green beans. Grate onto. She is grating the cheese onto the salad. Mash up. She is mashing up the avocado with a fork. Season with. The chef is seasoning the meat with rosemary. Sprinkle on. The chef is sprinkling salt on the salad. The chef is drizzling the olive oil over the raw steak. Rub in. The chef is rubbing the oil in with his hands. Grind over. The chef is grinding pepper over the raw steak. Pour on. She is pouring the sauce on the chicken fillet. Toss in. She is tossing the sauce into the chicken fillet.
Welcome back.
Welcome back. Hopefully that quick video was a good starting point for what we're tackling today.
It was fast, but it was also packed with some incredibly practical language.
It really was. You know, a lot of English learners feel comfortable with simple verbs when they're cooking.
Right. They'll just say cut or
Yeah.
put.
Exactly. And that's fine, but if you want to sound more natural, more like a native speaker when you're talking about food,
Right.
you need the right phrasal verbs.
Yeah.
So this whole session is focused on that, the language of food prep. We've got 13 essential phrasal verbs that you'll hear and use all the time.
That's the goal. We're moving you beyond just cut and put
To things like mash up, drizzle over.
and toss in. By the end of this discussion, You won't just know the definitions. You'll get the nuances that make your conversation in the kitchen sound, really rich and authentic.
Okay, let's unpack this. We should probably follow the natural flow of cooking, right?
Good idea. Let's start at the very beginning. Prepping the raw ingredients.
This first group of verbs is all about physical removal or shaping things.
Yes.
And we start with one that seems obvious, but the second word, the particle, is so important. Peel off.
Right, peel off. When you peel something off, you're removing that outer layer, the skin.
So like with a potato, if you're getting it ready for mashing.
You're peeling off the skin with a peeler, exactly.
And why is off so crucial? Why not just peel?
That off really emphasizes the separation, the act of detaching that layer completely. You can say, I peeled the potato, and it's okay. But peeling off describes the finished action. The skin is now off the potato. It's gone.
That makes sense. It's more complete. Okay, moving on. Trim off.
Trim off, yes. This means to cut off a small, usually unwanted end or edge of something.
Like the ends of green beans.
Perfect example.
Pablo.
Or the root end of a carrot. You trim off just that little tough bit before you start cooking. It's a very clean, small cut.
Okay, now for the two big cutting verbs, the ones people always mix up.
Ah, yes. Slice up and cut up.
Let's start with slice up.
Okay, so slice up implies a specific technique. It means you're cutting something into thin, flat, uniform pieces.
So it's about precision.
It's about precision and presentation, like when you're carefully slicing up some ham for a platter. The key words are thin and uniform.
Got it. And then we have cut up, which sounds, well, a lot less delicate.
It is much less delicate. Cut up is your general workhorse verb for chopping. It just means to cut something into smaller pieces.
And they don't have to be perfect.
Not at all. They're usually irregular or maybe cube-shaped. If you're making a stew, you're just cutting up the carrots and onions. It's about speed and getting things into chunks, not perfect sheets.
So just to be clear, if I were making a fruit salad,
Right.
I would cut up the apples into chunks. But for a cocktail garnish, say a lime, I would slice it up very thinly.
That's it, exactly. That's the distinction. Uniformity and thinness for slice up.
Versus speed and chunkiness for cut up.
And using the right one just shows you understand the action precisely. It makes your dialogue sound so much more authentic.
That helps a lot. Okay, ingredients are prepped. Now let's talk about changing their form, their texture. This brings us to grate onto.
Grate onto. This means to shred food, usually something like cheese or a carrot, and let it fall directly onto another dish.
That preposition onto, it's doing two jobs, isn't it? It's the action and the location.
It is. The example was, she is grating the cheese onto the salad. The cheese doesn't just get grated. We know its destination immediately. If you just say, I grated the cheese, I might ask, okay, where is it now?
But with grate onto, the action and placement are one single idea.
Exactly. The cheese is now part of the salad. It's integrated.
Speaking of changing texture, let's move to a personal favorite for comfort food. Mash up.
Ah, classic. To mash up something is to crush it until it becomes soft or smooth, like a paste.
And that little word up, it seems important again here.
It really is. It suggests the process is finished. You've mashed it completely until you get that smooth texture you want.
So for guacamole, you're mashing up the avocado with a fork.
Right. It's that vigorous, repetitive crushing action. But it's important to remember you can only mash up soft foods.
That's a great point. You wouldn't mash up a raw carrot.
Not unless you boiled it for a very long time first.
Yeah.
You mash up things like potatoes, bananas, avocados, things that are already soft.
Okay, so we've prepped, we've changed textures. Now for the best part.
The flavor.
Flavoring, seasoning, all the finishing touches. And we have some beautiful verbs in this section.
We do. Let's start with the most fundamental one. Season with.
Season with.
To season with something means you add herbs or spices to improve the taste. And here, that preposition with is crucial.
You have to say what you're using.
You have to.
Yeah.
You specify the ingredient. For example, the chef is seasoning the meat with rosemary.
You can't leave out the with. It just wouldn't work.
No, it wouldn't. Now contrast that with our next one, sprinkle on.
Okay, sprinkle on.
This is for dry, small particles. And you apply them lightly over a surface. Think of it as a finishing touch.
So like sprinkling sea salt on top of something. Or maybe some sugar on a cookie.
Exactly. You're sprinkling it on the surface, a light, even dusting.
Okay, now let's get to that great contrast with liquids we saw in the video.
Yes. Drizzle over versus pour on.
These sound similar, but they imply totally different styles of cooking.
Totally different. Let's start with the more elegant action. Drizzle over. You drizzle a liquid when you pour it in a very thin, continuous, controlled stream over the food. It's often for something flavorful and a bit special, like a good olive oil or a balsamic glaze.
It's all about control and presentation.
Precisely. You drizzle over the finishing oil, you care about where every drop lands.
Okay. Now for the opposite. Pour on.
Pour on. This is when you make a liquid flow rapidly onto something. It's for sauces, gravies, large amounts of liquid.
Where volume is more important than delicate control.
Absolutely. If you're serving mashed potatoes and gravy to your family, you pour on the gravy. You're not drizzling it. The goal is saturation, not decoration.
That makes the difference crystal clear. Drizzle is for art. Pour is for appetite.
That's a great way to put it.
Okay, two more that involve direct physical contact. Rub in and grind over.
Yes. Rub in is very tactile. It means you apply a substance, like a dry spice mix or oil, and you work it into the surface of the food with your hands.
So the in part is key.
It is. It suggests the flavors being absorbed into the food, not just sitting on top. You're rubbing the seasoning in.
And what about grind over?
Grind over is very specific to using a tool, like a pepper mill. It emphasizes freshness.
Ah, so it's that action of crushing fresh peppercorns directly onto your food.
Exactly. You're grinding black pepper over the pasta. It communicates that you care about the freshest possible flavor. It's a step up from just using pre-ground pepper.
I see. It signals that extra bit of effort. Okay, we have one final verb, and this one is crucial for mixing things.
Toss in.
Toss in.
This means to mix ingredients lightly by lifting and dropping them. It's what you do when you want to coat things, like salad leaves,
Or chicken pieces in a sauce.
without crushing or bruising them. You wouldn't say you stir a salad dressing in.
No, you would ruin the lettuce.
Right. You toss the dressing in. It's a much gentler, more specialized kind of mixing.
Wow, we've just covered all 13 of those verbs, from prepping the raw food all the way to the finished plate.
And you can really hear the difference, can't you? How much more descriptive your English becomes.
You know, before we move on to the review, just a quick word to you, our listener. If you're finding this helpful, please think about subscribing and following Think Aloud English.
Leaving a comment also really helps other learners find us, and it lets us know what topics you'd like to hear about next. We'd love to build this community with you.
Okay, so let's do that rapid review.
Let's do it, all 13, focusing on those contrasts we talked about.
Let's start with prep. To remove the outside, you peel off the skin,
And you trim off the unwanted ends
then the cutting. You slice up for thin, perfect pieces.
versus cut up for general chunks,
For changing texture and placement, you grate onto a dish.
and you mash up soft foods until they're smooth.
Then the all-important liquids.
Right. We drizzle over for a thin, controlled stream.
But we pour on for big amounts of sauce.
For hands-on seasoning, we rub in the spices deep into the surface.
And for adding flavor, we season with an ingredient or sprinkle on small dry bits.
And finally, combining and freshness. We grind over fresh pepper from a mill.
And we toss in the sauce to mix everything gently.
That's 13 powerful phrasal verbs for you.
Amazing. Now it's your turn. We want to hear from you. We have a simple question using today's vocabulary.
Here it is. If you're making a gourmet soup and you want to add some fine olive oil to the finished bowl,
Which action would you choose? Would you drizzle over it or would you pour on it?
think about that difference in presentation and control we discussed. Try to make a sentence with your answer. You can say it out loud or, of course, leave us a comment.
Okay, now that you understand the meanings and how to use all these expressions, we're going to play the video again.
But this time, try using the shadowing technique.
Listen carefully, repeat what you hear out loud, and try to mimic the speaker's rhythm and tone.
And here's one final learning tip for you. To really make this language stick, try watching this same video again. Not just today.
But maybe one day later, then 1 week later, and even a month from now.
That method, spaced repetition, really helps new language stick in your long-term memory.
Thank you so much for joining us on Think Aloud English. We really hope your time in the kitchen becomes much more expressive from now on.
And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more essential English lessons. Goodbye for now.
Peel off. She is peeling off the potato skin with a peeler. Trim off. She is trimming off the root end of the carrot. Slice up. The chef is carefully slicing up the ham. cut up. She is cutting up the green beans. Grate onto. She is grating the cheese onto the salad. Mash up. She is mashing up the avocado with a fork. Season with. The chef is seasoning the meat with rosemary. Sprinkle on. The chef is sprinkling salt on the salad. The chef is drizzling the olive oil over the raw steak. Rub in. The chef is rubbing the oil in with his hands. Grind over. The chef is grinding pepper over the raw steak. Pour on. She is pouring the sauce on the chicken fillet. Toss in. She is tossing the sauce into the chicken fillet.